Whoever told you guys not to overreact was wrong, okay? This is the week for overreactions. You see one bad pass in camp, oh no, your quarterback and wide receiver, they don't have a connection. One bad argument, your locker room's toxic. Guys, this is the week for overreactions. Good thing we never do that on this show. We will leave nothing unturned, okay? Because on this podcast, we will air out everyone's dirty laundry. In Aaron Rodgers' case, clean laundry would be more shocking. From Wondery, I'm Annie Agar, and this is The Offensive Line. Welcome to The Offensive Line, you guys. We're here to make some picks, talk some shit, and make you some money. Very big podcast episode coming up this week. In a little bit, we have our very own offensive lineman returning to the show, Geoff Schwartz. A lot to go through with him and his playing experience because he can give us a little insight into what's going on in the NFL world. We'll get to that later. But first, let's get caught up on what is going on around the league and what everyone is talking about, you guys. It's time for my favorite segment that we ever do, what they said versus what they meant. So I'm going to break down some things that the guys said, whether on Twitter, in person, in pressers, and tell you what they actually meant to say. So let's get started. First off, you know the season's right around the corner when Kyle Pitts starts trending again. Everyone's hyping him up, you guys. Fantasy drafts everywhere. He's in the mock ones. Oh no, look out. Not mine, obviously. His quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., piled on to those speculations, raising the hopes and dreams of fantasy owners everywhere. What he said was, got Kyle Pitts the ball today, got KP the ball today, gonna be a lot of that. Very simple, very to the point. What he meant was, yeah, I got Kyle Pitts the ball today. You're gonna see that a lot. At camp, just enough to get you idiots to fall for this another year, draft him in fantasy, and then I will forget he even existed mid-season. It's gonna be great. All right, let's move on because obviously I'm not getting riled up about Kyle Pitts for the 5th year in a row. The Cowboys, of course, we were going to have a Cowboys quote in here. Cowboys fans were giving Jerry an earful at practice chanting, "Pay Micah." It was very funny. Go watch the video. As their star pass rusher still isn't signed. He hasn't signed his extension. Jerry Jones tried to play it off by saying, that was a faint little sound compared to the way you all were hollering, "Pay Lamb." Way to play it cool, Jerry. What he meant to say was, I didn't turn my hearing aid on. Guys, sorry about that. Just goes to show you how dumb people can be shouting, "Pay Michael." We paid Michael Irvin years ago, okay? This is, and then forgets what year it is. Probably. Jerry, have you looked around? Do you know what technology is? Turn the hearing aids back on. Pay Micah. Moving on. Tua and Tyreek, one of my favorite things that happened this week. Tua said that Miami isn't going to just welcome Tyreek back with open arms after the way things ended last year. To be expected, Tua pretty much quit on his team. Sorry, not Tua, although that may have happened as well. Tyreek quit on his team. I forgot what Dolphin was quitting. Jeez. So while he's covering his ass, Tua said, I don't feel it's me talking bad about my teammate. I'm just trying to hold him accountable. So it's not just me. What he meant to say was, look, guys, it's not just me talking bad, okay? Literally everyone and their mother talks bad about Tyreek Hill, and if they don't, he turns them into a mother. Sorry, that's just how this world works sometimes, I guess. Tyreek out there just doing some damage. Okay, next up, Shemar Stewart. The Bengals' first-round pick, Shemar Stewart, ended his holdout and signed in Cincinnati. Finally, after claiming that both sides found even ground. Only took them 6 months. Just kidding. It was less than that, but it felt very long off-season talk. What he said was, we both thought it would be beneficial for us to stop arguing and just get me back on the field. Shocker. Who came to that conclusion? What he meant to say was, my bad, guys. I saw the dorms and college meals they were offering to feed me back at A&M again. Couldn't do that. So I figured some wording in a contract wasn't that big of a deal. You guys should have told me that months ago. We were, Shemar, we were, for months. Me in particular, by the way. Weird situation. And I was in his corner for a hot second because I don't like how Cincinnati handles contracts, but you kind of lost us there at the end, buddy. You and your agent kind of lost us. Okay, Evan Ingram. Broncos tight end Evan Ingram has been blown away by his new team's dedication. When talking about showing up early, he said, I'm used to being the first one. In Jacksonville, I was always the first one. It was really easy. That's great to know. What he meant was, I was actually the only one. No one else showed up, games or practice. I don't think Doug Peterson, former head coach, even knew where the front door was. Trust me, Evan, we knew. We knew. You might not have been able to see it, but we did. Okay, that is my breakdown of what happened this week. Those are my favorite things to break down because coach speak is a thing. Things can get hidden in translation, okay? That's why I'm here to break it down for you guys. I'm here to read between the lines. All right, moving on, guys. We have to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Things are going great, by the way. It's another week, another slew of Aaron Rodgers stories to react to. Couldn't be better in Pittsburgh. Nothing is going wrong. No issues with Freiermuth or anything like that. Let's dive into it. First off, on his first pass at camp, Rodgers threw an interception. Is that a sign of things to come? I don't know, but it's pretty funny. Pretty funny if it is. This opened up a slew of questions. Is Aaron off his game already in its camp? Did he spend too much time basking in the glow of the sun somewhere warm with dolphins? Who am I to talk? Okay, I will though. Oh, trust me, I will. Yes, it was picked off by Patrick Queen. He later said it's good to get that out of the way early. It might not be out of the way, buddy. You might have 10 more of them come season. Okay, that was not the only thing with Aaron though, obviously. This is just a slew of things that have happened. So we're catching you up on Pittsburgh Steelers training camp because, as I said, it's going so well. Aaron's dorm mate, where Pitt camps at in St. Vincent College, is his new wide receiver, DK Metcalf. Didn't know if you guys knew that. I think that's hilarious. If you saw the movie Invincible, they paired these guys up at camp to bring some camaraderie to the team. If that's true at all, I'm going off a movie, so what do I know? But this is, in my opinion, that's what they do. Mike Tomlin paired the two to help build team chemistry. Okay, so it's a thing. Let's see how that's going, guys. DK brought in a copy of the new college football video game, quality game, to play with Rodgers, and when Aaron saw DK playing, he just walked out of the room. Could you imagine? He didn't strike me as much of a gamer. He's probably more into like the game Oregon Trail. Do you guys remember that game? Great video game. PC game. But you had to survive on an Oregon Trail somewhere and probably like eat snake's venom or something. I don't know. It seems a lot more Aaron Rodgers to me. And it's tough having a roommate, guys. I will never go back to having a roommate ever. I love living alone. So I get that part of Aaron. But also, he's your teammate. Maybe don't walk out the room when he tries to bond with you. Things are going great in Pittsburgh. That's not all, you guys, though. Probably the best thing that happened coming out of all this, and this was a true story. There's a literal news article on this. I think it was Brooke Fletcher, whoever's covering the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, you got to get a pay raise because this is some hard-hitting news right here. Aaron has also implemented toilet rules. Kid you not. He's requested that DK not flush the toilet at night because, and I quote, the toilet's loud, the flush is loud. So DK texted Aaron at like 9:10 at night. Said, hey man, are you still up? Like, I just took a dump. I got to flush the toilet. Can I flush it? To which I think in the article, he responded yes. So team chemistry back on track. We're in Jerry Rice, Joe Montana type of chemistry levels here. Toilet flushing. Who knew, guys? Moving on to another pass catcher that might have an issue with Aaron Rodgers. Steelers fans may still be a few weeks away from learning what it's like to be a fan of the late stage Aaron Rodgers. However, his teammates are getting the gist early on. Guys, Pat Freiermuth seemed to be fed up already with Rodgers checking down the ball again in practice. He threw up his arms in frustration. Now, I will say, we're going to break this down a little bit. Pat McAfee called up Pat Freiermuth almost right away. Tone Diggs, huge Packers, not Packers fan, huge Steelers fan. Would be nice, Tone. He called him up right away. They FaceTimed him. And Pat said, no, I was just frustrated with myself. I ran the wrong route. Looking back, he ran that route so slow. No wonder he didn't get the ball. So I don't feel as bad. I thought it was hilarious right away. Instant reaction was hilarious. But he was going like 30 miles per hour slower than he should have on that route. I've seen Amazon drivers move faster. It was bad. Also, another breaking thing, and it has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers' wife, by the way. We'll touch on that in a second. Aaron Rodgers reacted. Terry Bradshaw had comments about him. I don't know if you guys saw this. Basically said something like he should have and Terry has a lot to say about his Steelers. Basically said something about how he needs to stay in California and chew on some bark. I will say, so in this past week, Aaron came on with Kyle, Good Morning Football, and said, basically handled it very well, I will say, which is very shocking. He was very amicable about it and said, Terry doesn't know me. I'd love to get to know him on a deeper level, though. Maybe we can go chew some bark. Handled it. It was kind of played it off as a joke. Is this a new Aaron Rodgers? Should we start that monologue on social media? I will. I'll do it first. I don't know, guys. Weird. Really weird. Maybe they should just have a party. BYOB. Bring your own bark. And lastly, Aaron Rodgers' wife. Man, he must just love her. if she exists. When he was talking about her in this interview, he said, when you meet the right one and you're with the right one, your whole world changes in a second. So we're utilizing ChatGPT now to write love letters, is what I'm hearing, because that's straight out of a Hallmark card. AI couldn't have scripted it any better than that. And you're telling me his wife really exists? She's falling for this crap? Would it work for me if an NFL player said it to me? Maybe. Beside the point, though. Yeah, he also came on to say that she is his rock through all of this. Have we examined the possibility that she might actually be a rock? It's not out of the realm of possibilities here. Or a stone of some sort that he's praying with? I don't know. Just throwing that out there. We're food for thought, okay? Just the verbiage is just interesting of Aaron. He does seem like a crystal guy, so a rock is not out of his future. Okay, that is all. I think we've summed up everything that's happened in camp so far, guys. A lot of very obviously not exciting things. Very, very routine camp. That's not even including the Browns and what's going on there. Camp is just, wow. Better than any camp I went to growing up, let me tell you that. All right, coming up next, guys, Geoff joins the show back on the offensive line with us to talk about winning you guys some money. Stay right here on the offensive line. All right, welcome back to the show, you guys. We have former NFL offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz joining us back on. Thanks, Geoff, for coming back on the show.
I'm glad to be here. We have a Hall of Fame game this week, like real football.
Do.
I mean, it's real, I guess, but it's on. I'm going to watch it.
Are you going? You're not going to it.
No. I've actually played in that game before. Not fun as a player to play in the Hall of Fame game because you go to camp a week early, like a week and a half early. But I will watch every second of it.
100%.
Why not?
People are talking about that on Twitter. And preseason, as much as it might suck, it's a vibe. We do it for the vibes, guys. It's like it makes me want to get my fall candle out and light it, and
What's a fall candle?
It's just like it smells like pumpkin. It makes me get excited for fall, even though it's 95 degrees outside. Okay, let's talk about your show. Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. What's new with that since the last time we talked?
After a lot of years, we have finally found a home. We've been waiting for this for a long time now. Partnership with Meadowlark Media. We're going to be doing more shows. We have some like real support. So I can't thank Matt and Gabe enough. And we'll be doing the same stuff we normally do. We'll have a reaction show and we'll have a gambling show. But the gambling show will we'll have a lot more behind it. So it'll be a lot of fun to do each and every week. And I can't wait. I mean, it's been a while, a long time coming, and we work hard to get here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
What a great team. They're so good. Matt and those guys and Gabe, they're great. Well, I have to add, before we get into the football stuff, I have to ask you a very serious question.
Okay.
Because I think you know the answer better than I do. Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming out, or is in production right now. So what are your expectations on that movie? Because we all know how much you love.
Yeah.
How much that's your guilty pleasure there.
It is. I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I'll go back and watch it at some point the next couple of days.
It's on Disney Plus, I think.
I'm sure it is. Every movie, we have every app possible. It's just not, there's just no way it's as good as the first one, right? I mean, how many sequels or prequels even before, like how many are as good? Like it's very, very rare, right? Like a tiny percent of movies. And it's been so long too. Like how good is it going to be? Here's the question though, with these movies that are like 20 years apart, I think 20 years. Yeah, it's been a while. Do they advance 20 years or do they just pick it up from where they left off?
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Yeah. Plus, I feel like movies are so different now. If somebody was talking about that, they're just not up to the level that we had them at years ago. Like you don't get a Good Will Hunting or like one of those really good movies anymore. I get like Top Gun was good. The remake was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have not seen a movie in a theater since Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, that was it.
Same. No, Mission Impossible. I saw this first one.
I think since kids, I've seen kids movies in theaters. I saw Minecraft like a couple months ago with my kids. Yeah. I fell asleep for like 15 minutes. It was the best nap I had in a long time.
That's their fault. They put really comfy seats in those movie theaters now.
Yeah.
The recliners. Game over.
Middle of like a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Just knocked out. It was glorious. Glorious sleep.
Well, we'll get your review from that movie when it comes out. That'll be very important. The people will want to know. Okay, another thing that I would like to get from you. The internet blew up last week, kind of into this week as well, over a debate over which quarterback is/was better between Jalen Hurts and Cam Newton. This was the weirdest quarterback debate I've seen as of late. And I think it came down to the whole like MVP thing because Cam said he'd rather win MVPs than Super Bowls, and Jalen obviously carried by the team. So I would like to know your opinion on this debate because you have, I would say, firsthand experience with Cam. Because when we had you back on the show, it was when he came on and said something about the loser mentality in the locker room, and you were on your way out as he came in. So first of all, I guess, what's your thought on the comparison, and which quarterback would you take in that comparison?
Oh man,
it's tough.
So I think the genesis of this, Cam said that he was not a top 10 quarterback, and I think that Cam. So you can rank quarterbacks many different ways, right? It's just how it's the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
There's the thought of, okay, we'll rank them based off of just talent, right? Like just physical gifts. We can rank guys off performance, and then you can rank them off maybe both, right? And to me, Hurts, if you were just to line up the quarterbacks in the NFL, 1 through 32, physical talent, Hurts is probably not in the top 10, like it's a thrower of the football, right? I think that's the important distinction here is that I'm talking about as a passer, not really as an overall athlete. As overall athlete, he's one of the better quarterbacks, obviously. But you would look at like a Matt Stafford, right? You would say better passer, right? And so I think a lot of people have trouble with that concept of that, like maybe Cam was ranking these guys based off of, as more of a passer, a pure passer than as like an overall playmaker. No, I have Hurts. I think I had him 6 or 7 when I ranked quarterbacks. So I think Cam is wrong for where he put him. But then it spiraled out of control, right? Then it just went like to these areas. And look, I'll say this. When I think Jalen Hurts throws a better football than Cam. But I think when Cam was on, man, I mean, holy heck, he won an MVP, and it's not like Hurts hasn't been close to winning MVPs. He was 22. He was probably the leader until he got hurt. And it just seems like a very unnecessary way to be angry on the internet. Like I would at their peak, I think Cam was probably better. But also Cam didn't play with and this is here's the hardest part of the conversation, essentially, right? Is what I'm about to say right now, is that Jalen Hurts has the best of everything. He has the best offensive line, the best running back, maybe not the best pair of wide receivers, but near the top, good tight end, and a great defense.
Yeah.
And so you say to yourself, well, Cam had some of those pieces while he played, right? He had Greg Olsen and the running back duo and Steve Smith for a couple of years. He wasn't there for the Super Bowl year in 15. The defense was good, not great. And maybe it was a given year was better than others. He had Kuechly, obviously, and some other guys on the defense that were really good, but he never had what Hurts has. And yeah, would Hurts be not as good with a less offensive line? And yeah, he probably wouldn't be as good, but you can't judge him on that. You can judge him on what he is now. And maybe at some point in his career, he won't have the offensive line, and we can judge him then on what he looks like. So it seems like a really just silly argument. To me, I think Hurts is somewhere between 7 and 10. The top 4 feel pretty settled. I think Stafford's ahead of him. And then, you can maybe debate Herbert or Jaden Daniels. And that's about where he should be.
The one thing I did say that people were saying is the Panthers had 10 Pro Bowl or 10 guys named to the Pro Bowl that year, and then the Eagles had 6, and Jalen wasn't one of them, whereas Cam was one of them. So that's like the big argument is.
I guess. I mean, the Pro Bowl.
I know, but that could be a.
I mean, the 2015 Panthers, so I can probably guess like half of them, but the guys on defense are the ones I'm kind of curious about. So obviously Luke Kuechly, my guess was Thomas Davis probably was a Pro Bowler. Shaq Thompson, maybe Star, KK. I mean, I still think the Eagles roster is better than the Panthers roster in 2015.
Well, even like what you just were talking about the quarterback rank. So we were talking about this off air before we came on. Mike Tannenbaum came out with his NFC ranked the NFC quarterbacks. Did he put Jordan Love at the top? Maybe. That's beside the point, though. He put Jalen, I don't think he was even top 5. So what is so polarizing about Jalen Hurts? Because first of all, I think Stafford wasn't even top 10, I think is what we talked about. And that's crazy to me. That's just wild. But anyway, Jalen Hurts being so polarizing in terms of ranking, just a quarterback perspective. I mean, he's just won a Super Bowl. Why is he so polarized?
I think a couple things. One is that, again, he doesn't wow you as a passer. He can throw the ball really well, but there's not like Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that throw from Hurts. Nothing against Hurts. I mean, Hurts, again, a great quarterback. But, like, there's not that, like, wow factor where, like, Jane Daniels, for example, there's certainly a wow factor there, right? When you're like, oh, holy heck, look at that throw. That plays a role. I think people do judge Hurts because of the talent around him. And that is fair. That's part of the evaluation, right? But we can't say what he'd be without them. We don't really know. He's sort of always had these players around him. So, I mean, he's played in 2 Super Bowls. He played really well in both those Super Bowls. And he's a Super Bowl champion. So you can't take that away from him.
There's my last question. If it's 4th and 1, and from the 1, you need a touchdown, which quarterback do you go with?
Oh, Cam. He would just run someone over. But that's, again, like, massive. Yeah, but if it's...
He's a massive human being.
But it's 4th and 7 from the 7, I might want Jalen Hurts. So
yeah.
It's kind of different
situational.
Discussion.
It's all situational. Kind of a dumb comparison, but that's what we don't talk about dumb topics here on the show. Okay. Next, I want to talk about history possibly repeating itself, Geoff, just like you coming on the show. It feels like every year we see the same headlines pop up over and over again, but we never really learn our lesson. You probably know where I'm going with this because we talked about earlier in the show. I'm going to throw a couple headlines at you, and you'll help me decide whether or not history will repeat itself this year. The first one is one I talked about earlier in the show, Kyle Pitts. It's that time of year again, me included, where we all speculate that this might be Kyle Pitts' year. Has it happened? Has it worked out in the past? No, but it might work for us. As we referenced that on another show recently. Anyway, first up, Kyle Pitts hysteria. I talked earlier in the show, but every year fantasy owners trick themselves into thinking they're back in love with Kyle Pitts. Will history repeat itself, Geoff, or is this finally the year that Pitts lives up to the hype? Michael Penix came out and said that he was getting the ball a lot. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we know in training camp there that matters a lot.
Because it's so right, exactly.
I guess I just don't know what like good is. Is he 1,000 yards? Are we that we're going with?
That's what I would. I mean, that was his rookie year, over 1,000.
He has a better passer in Penix, but they also have other weapons. They run the football there. And Pitts, he's not really a dual threat tight end. So defenses can play him like a wide receiver, right? They're not worried about whether he's going to block well so they can sort of, I think, scheme him up a little bit better than some of the other guys. So I would say no. I mean, I don't know why history, I guess history would repeat itself. Yes. I don't know why he'd be like, anything would change this year.
I think that's what it is. It just was the rookie year was such a high point, and we just have this weird expectation for him every year now. Granted, he's vastly underperformed, I feel like, but for fantasy people out there, let's just calm down on Kyle Pitts, me included. I'm talking to myself on that one. Okay, this one is an interesting one. Seahawks rookie, 3rd round pick. Quarterback Jalen Milroe getting buzz at camp. There were if you just type in Jalen Milroe's name, look at this. There were quite a few tweets popped up. Very excited about him. That was a great pass. Anyway, it could be the first time a rookie 3rd round quarterback usurped the big contract free agent quarterback one before the season, right? Will history repeat itself, or do you think Sam Darnold keeps his job?
So the question I have is Jalen Milroe taking reps with the first team? Because none of it matters until you take reps with the first team. So he might look good now. He might get there at some point. But he's not taking reps with the first team. I don't believe.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So it's good. He's playing well with the second string, but here's the way this works. Competition is a myth. Okay. It's a myth. There's 53 guys on the roster, maybe 55 now. They add and take away a guy per year. I don't know where they're at right now. Let's say 53, like what I've always thought it was. Entering camp, about 49 of those spots are taken, Annie. They're taken for a couple of reasons. One is draft slot, right? You're a 1st round pick, 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick. You're on the team. You're in. The other is just contractual. Your contract states you're on the team for the year. And so you're only fighting for a couple of spots. And those are mostly for swing offensive lineman, 5th linebacker, special teams guy, but also applies to competitions, right? And you paid Sam Darnold all this money.
Right.
He's not going to be bad enough to just quit on him. He has to be so bad that you just say, we can't even start the season with him, which is unlikely to happen. So as good as Jalen Milroe has been, which is great, awesome, good for him. Darnold is paid to be the starter. And unless he is that bad in practice, which I've not seen reports of, Jalen Milroe is not taking over for that job.
Yeah. It's weird. That throw was to Jackson Smith-Njigba, by the way. So
I did notice that, yeah.
Because he is an extremely athletic individual, and it's great to have a backup maybe come week 6 if Sam Darnold shits the bed and is not what we thought that he was, and maybe it was all Kevin O'Connell. But yeah, I think you're right with that. I think that would just be a crazy situation, but it's a possibility. Don't rule it out, people. History does have a way of circling back around. Okay, another one I want to do. This was a weird one this week, and it kind of took me by surprise because I feel like people weren't talking about it as much as maybe they should have. Rams camp, Matthew Stafford has a lingering back issue. What he termed it as general soreness. What person past the age of 30, I'm getting up there, does not have general soreness? I can't specify that I'm 30 yet, but anyway. But yeah, he's lingering back issues. The good news is, and this is probably the funniest possible thing, Devontae's there. Do we all remember? And guess who would come? Guess who would be throwing him the ball if something, hopefully not, happens to Matthew Stafford? Jimmy G is back in the building. Hilarious. Let's not forget that Devontae was pissed at Jimmy G for throwing him hospital balls and said he had to get the F out of this town before he effing dies. That was a direct quote last year. Hilarious that this has come full circle again. If it do you see this happening where Jimmy G is the thrower of the pigskin to Devontae once again?
Well, it would certainly it would not be great for me who was high on the Rams this year if Stafford wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it's not great to start training camp with a back injury, right?
No. Especially a back.
Correct. This is the time of year when you should be 100%, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then, here's why you want to be 100%, because you obviously, as the season goes on, you lose percentage of health, and you can gain it back in a week and rejuvenate yourself. But entering a season, I've done it before.
It's like 80%. Fortnite, you need to rebuild.
I've never played Fortnite. Is that how it works in Fortnite?
You get there's medicine you can get because your body's Anyway,
I didn't know. You a gamer, or are you just?
No, I just know that.
Wow,
I don't know how I know that. I've dated some bad guys out there, Geoff.
A very specific gamer thing. My wife, by the way, we were talking beforehand. I'm playing CFP 26. My wife, for the longest time, man, just despised it playing video games. And
really,
and this before kids. And I barely played. I played MVP 05 forever. Yeah, I played some Call of Duty, but I didn't play for 10 years. And then I was at a friend's house a couple years ago, and he had Call of Duty, and my wife saw how much fun I had playing again, and so she bought me my Xbox. I didn't even buy it for myself.
Oh, you're kidding!
Oh yeah,
that was sweet of her. Meredith.
We had a huge fight over video games. This would have been 15 years ago. We had no kids. We were on a weekend where I was playing video games. She wasn't paying attention to her enough, I guess. I don't know. This is 15 years ago. So
that's funny.
But now I'm all in. This one game, just one game I care about.
Yeah. My thing is you guys, women will talk on the phone, we'll call our girlfriends up and talk for an hour or so, but you guys don't do that, but you catch up. If you're gaming with a friend, that's your time to talk and catch up. Yeah. So that doesn't bother me at all. But
exactly.
It depends on if you're just online and, anyway. Okay, back to the topic at hand. So Devontae catching passes from Jimmy G, that could be a possibility.
It could. I think Stafford will be fine, but I just don't like it.
As a Packers fan, I think it's hilarious. Sorry, Devontae. I do love him. The man just can't catch a break, literally. All right, Geoff, let's do, before you go, a few make or miss playoff scenarios. Today, we're looking at make or miss playoff bets, and we're going to discuss which side everyone should take, okay? Are you ready? Just for a couple teams. Let's start with the Packers, obviously. A little bias there. To make is minus 135. To miss is plus 110. What are your thoughts on these odds?
I would, I'd take make before I took miss.
Yeah.
The Packers are the thing that they have is that they're just very steady. You sort of know what you get from them, which is important. And they were young last year, so you hope that they get another year, another more season. Last year they only lost to playoff teams, right? That's who they lost to, and they were close, 3 points, 6 points, something like that. So I would do make here. I think that division has at least 2 playoff teams, and the Packers are at least one of the 2.
I'm going to go with make as well. Obviously, there's bias there, but I think Matthew Golden's going to have I think we're going to use him in packages like we used Jaden Reed in these motion packages that Matt LaFleur is great with, but it took a little while for that to work. I think it was week 11 where we started seeing productivity. So everybody calm down. Matthew Golden's going to be great. Just might not be right away, but they will make the playoffs. All right, Cowboys. To make is plus 180. To miss is minus 220.
Well, I'm not laying minus 220 on this. I will give you one I would do this on.
Okay.
I will. So I mean, I'll look. I guess I'll take. Here's another the Cowboys. It's pretty interesting. They have like a lot of good football players.
Yeah, their offense is good.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like Dak back healthy. I don't really like Schottenheimer. I don't try to bet on coaches that I don't think are very good to make the postseason. So I would say make here. I'm not laying the miss.
Yeah. Well, we should tell Jerry about it because he's not even thinking about playoffs right now. He's just enjoying the limelight of not paying his players. Okay, let's do Chicago. Make is plus 160. Miss is minus 195.
Yeah, I would take the miss here, but I'm not laying 1 to 2 essentially. I'll tell you this. So the reports out of camp are Caleb Williams sort of started slow, and that's not it's not that big of a problem, really. New coordinator, new coach, all this thing. But the thing is, like, you sort of know early on if it looks like it should. Yeah. And I get the sense that people don't believe it does. And that's the only thing that worries me about the Bears. And Ben Johnson, this whiz, I think he's going to be a good coach, but like the tough division, they probably finish 4th in that division. They're not making it. So I would say miss.
Yeah. My co-host Clay Harbor, who played, who's tight end, he was out there and he said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It did not look good. Like camp was not good. It didn't look like it was running well. So that gives us hope as Packers fans. Okay, let's do the Chargers. Let's talk about that division for a minute. Your Chiefs division. Make is minus 140. Miss is plus 115, which is kind of interesting.
I would probably take miss before I take make, just on the number here. The Chargers, look, they're close. They're going to win, 8 to 10 to 11 games is what they do. But I'm never fond of laying minus 140 on a team like the Chargers that routinely feels like they come up short. So I would take miss more than I take make, but the Chargers make the plays, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And it's always them too. And it comes in really weird situations, really weird timing. All right, let's do the Bills. To make is minus 750. To miss is plus 500. Now, before everybody freaks out that I'm talking about the Bills to potentially miss the playoffs, isn't there more value in betting on them to miss when their whole team revolves around their quarterback when it's one injury away from just mass pandemonium? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not doing that, but if you would like to, you're welcome to do so. I think I know who wrote that question, and if he brings that to me on my podcast, we're going to have a big debate about this. I have this like,
because you could do it the Chiefs too, but
yeah. So I sort of have this like theory on some of these things here where like people love these big numbers, right? 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 8 to 1. But like I sort of have to have an idea that it can actually happen. Like last night I probably shouldn't admit I was watching and betting WNBA last night while I was in bed, but I was. And I bet on the Liberty to come back from behind. They were down 6 with a minute left. Okay. It was like 25 to 1. It's the Liberty. They shoot threes really well. Like, they're playing a not a great team. Like you can kind of sort of make yourself into believing that. The Bills thing is like, just like if Josh Allen gets hurt, I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that. I will tell you though, to win the division's like minus 280, terrible number. But if you have like, I don't know, some money laying around, you want to spend it, it's not the worst wager.
Those odds are just so hard to bet on when the odds are so bad. It's hard for me.
Yeah, we need you. It's not great.
We need Geoff to bet on over under like things about the Devil Wears Prada too. Like how great the movie's gonna be. How many times they make the old cast makes an appearance in the movie. I think
the whole cast will be there. I need to be there week 1. I should go to we should find a way for the podcast, my podcast, to beat the premiere somehow.
That'd be so funny.
I'm sure
I would work on that with you. I'd help you get there. That'd be hilarious. I'm sure
content. I have no juice. You can probably make it happen better than I can.
Let me just call up Anne Hathaway real quick.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll get you there. That would be hilarious. Well, thank you, Geoff, for joining us again.
Yes.
Man, I can't wait. It's going to be so great.
It's here. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's in the air, of course. All right, coming up, you guys, we have some developing news in the Annie Agar life. Stay tuned for more right here on The Offensive Line. Welcome back, you guys. I'm sure everyone saw by now, maybe, the big news that happened this weekend. That's right. It was reported by Annie Agar herself. Guys, I got a truck, okay? I bought a truck. This week, it was a big girl purchase. It was an adult purchase. I know what financing is and all that fun stuff. We went over everything. It was a great time. So I am now the owner of a pickup truck, but you might be asking, why do I need a truck? It's a great question. Do I need one in Chicago? Absolutely not. But let me explain. There are a lot of things you can do with a truck, okay? Someone once said to me, my truck can do car things. I've never seen a car being able to do truck things. I was like, whoa, mind blown. So true. So here are some examples of things I can do with my brand new beautiful truck. One, I can go further than the Jets have gone in the past 15 years. Easily. I could probably do that in a week. Two, I can carry 53 Chargers better than Justin Herbert can, at least until January. And then another one, I can dodge Rams better than the Vikings last year. That was a little truck pun, guys, in case you guys didn't see that. No, I don't have a Ram, by the way. Everybody in the comments was all Ford, Chevy, Ram. I have a Chevy. Chevy's an American, beautiful brand car. Look, guys, I've always driven a Chevy, okay? Ford people out there, I'm sorry. They're both Detroit brands. I'm sorry. Okay. What's something else I can do with my truck? I can also ignore people asking me to help them move, like Jerry Jones in the offseason. Move to another team? Nope. Sorry, can't hear ya. Jerry, I learned from the best. And lastly, I can carry more baggage than Aaron Rodgers. It's not a wife. I don't have some fake wife to carry around, but I can stow a lot back there. So any baggage I do have, going in the trunk. Guys, I'm obsessed with my truck. If I post too much about it, let me know, because I've now become a truck person. I'm looking into getting tinted windows. It's a little bit lifted already. It's leveled, which is a big thing. That's very important. See, I sound like a truck owner now. I just love it. No, comment more, though, what I should do to my truck, because you guys have done a bunch of research to truck owners out there. You know much better than I do what to do. So tell me what I need to do to my truck to make it look really sweet and practical, obviously, because that's why I bought it. Duh, not to look super cool. Okay, guys, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show. No offense. This is a safe place to get something off our chests that's bothering us. I have a pretty good one this week. It was kind of a last-minute thought because I was watching Get Up today, and it was a discussion. It was a brief discussion and got me thinking about it a little bit more. So, no offense, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are being severely overlooked this season, okay? They're sitting at a 7% chance to make it to a Super Bowl. Not win the Super Bowl, just to make it to the Super Bowl. And that seems a little shocking to me, okay? Let me elaborate a little bit. Need I remind you, they have the 6th easiest schedule. They have a very winnable division, the NFC South. Very emphasis on very winnable, painful division. And Baker Mayfield is, again, being underrated. I think it may be with the Browns era is making people underrate him. I'm me being one of them. But in the past 2 seasons, he led the league in touchdown passes at 69. Nice. He also has Emeka Egbuka, an add-on this year, which I think will be great, and one of the best running backs of all time, Bucky Irving. It's a little inside joke on social media. Everybody knows Bucky Irving's the best running back out there, greatest of all time. And Jaden Daniels last year, the Commanders to beat them, it was a 4th down run on the road that cost them the playoff win. I just think people forget how the Bucs are, because they should be a little bit scarier than we think they are. And maybe it's the division. I don't know. Maybe it's underrated Baker Mayfield. I don't know what it is, guys. But I feel like we're sleeping on him a little bit, and it's kind of making me worried. So just keep it in the back of your head, maybe while you're betting this year, to throw the Bucs down a few more times. Because I think they're so good, even Todd Bowles couldn't screw this up. Will he not use a timeout or two? Probably. But that's beside the point. All right, guys, that is it for this week on The Offensive Line. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and you can watch our full podcast episodes on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Let's get this season started. I'm so excited. And as always, Des didn't catch it.
Put it all on the line.